The Honorable Chief Minister, respected Principal, faculty, honored guests, and dear students, Assalamu alaikum and good morning. The Honorable Chief Minister of Punjab, Mia Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif, really requires no introduction, yet I'll try to make this as brief as possible. He is a keen businessman and played a vital role in the success of Ittifaq Group of companies and was therefore elected President of Lahore Chamber of Commerce in 1985. After quite a distinguished political career, he was sworn in as the Chief Minister of Punjab in 1997. A very strict disciplinarian and competent administrator, Mr. Shehbaz Sharif changed the face of Punjab in general and Lahore in particular. He has been involved in numerous uplift projects which were completed within deadlines. He has focused his tremendous energies on health, agriculture, and industrial sectors, in particular education. He has launched a successful operation against Go Schools and is the architect of Danish schools where the poorest of poor get the very best of education. Also, he has successfully established 4,500 IT labs, the Punjab Education Endowment Fund, and the Punjab Education Foundation with a fund of 10 billion rupees. Most significantly, he has recruited around 40,000 educators on merit and is a patron of high achievers. We are indeed proud to have you with us today, sir, and I am sure that this will be an informative and enlightening session. So without further ado, I would like to invite the Honorable Chief Minister to address the audience.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Dr. Thomas Principal, Create College for Women, Surrey University. Distinguished faculty members, honorable members of the Board of Governors, honorable members of Parliament in Punjab Assembly, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. I am really honored to be here again at this great institution of learning. I was here a few months ago, and I am really pleased to be here with you this morning, and I was immensely happy to see these wonderful performances and acts and lyric by these students, and Nath Shri was really outstanding. So that goes to explain this wonderful institution's performance and contribution for the last 100 years. This institution has produced graduates and experts from all walks of life. One of them sitting here, Judge Sahiba Nasa Javed Iqbal, our former President of Bar, Asma Jahangir, from this institution, Kamini Kaushal, poets, philosophers, scientists, judges and lawyers and whatnot. I think the list will go on, but it will not finish. That is the standing of this institution amongst great seats of learning in Pakistan. And of course, some of the educated mothers, they gave birth to great Pakistanis, men and women. who played very important role in politics and of course in other walks of life. And today, Pakistan's well-being obviously has a lot to do with their service to this nation. Now, having said all this, I think I've come here today to have a very frank dialogue and discussion with you. I've come here to some success stories to my credit and some weaknesses and some failures. And that is how a human being is supposed to be. If we have no discredits and all credits, then we will be called angels and not human beings. So, my dear students and honorable teachers, I have come here to have a very frank discussion with you about education, and not only education, about Pakistan, Pakistan's future, where we stand, how do we go forward, what are the challenges, and what are the opportunities, and what is the way forward. Therefore, it is my rare honor to talk to you in this open amphitheater and to be very open with you in our dialogue. Today, a lot can be done by us and very little is being done. Today, you, the majority of our population, has a great responsibility on your shoulders, but for more than one reason, your contribution to this society remains unfulfilled. And some of most important points have been raised by your principal here in our welcome address. They are issues of our society, social issues, other barriers, harassment, discrimination, and of course, lack of opportunities. I think we need to address these issues if we have to make Pakistan forward-looking and progressive. Because if majority of our population, which is female, our students, our teachers, our women, if they do not contribute their might towards Pakistan's well-being, then no matter what we do, no matter how many billions of dollars we have in our kitty, which we don't have unfortunately, no matter how many other natural resources we are blessed with, we'll never be able to convert these opportunities into something which will make Pakistan stand out in the community of nations. So I am not here to just to please you and give sweet music into your ear. No, I mean it from the core of my heart that our female population must be given its due right, due opportunities, and then it will be for you to stand up and let the nation know that you have this capacity and capability. And I am a witness to this fact, whether we like it or not, that you are excelling in medicine, you are excelling in arts, you are excelling in science, and this is what I witness at those beautiful ceremonies, prize distribution ceremonies, which bears a testimony to your brilliance, to your hard work, to your knowledge, and you outsmart boys every now and then. I think this is large chunks of our prize monies go to female students. In Murray, the majority of cozy rooms at Governor's House are occupied by female high achievers. Over there, police guard of honor is given to female students because they are in majority. This is what has transpired to the entire society. And this is why I've come here this morning to have a frank discussion that where is the problem. As the servant of Punjab and your servant, please let me know what are the problems with us, in the system, in governance, and how can we, with your consultation, of course with your teachers and your peers, would like to evolve the system, because it is never too late. It is never too late. 64 years down the line, of course, we have a system evolved on the basis of perks and privileges. And we have never spoken of responsibilities, whether it is the chief servant of the province or the Prime Minister or other functionaries who are given this responsibility to carve out our destiny toward good times, prosperity and happiness. It has been a culture of safarish, a culture of destroying merit. I will not touch upon the point of merit-based appointment in Punjab, because that's a fact. And of course, it is known to you. I will not waste your time on pluses, because that is something which has been achieved. But those agendas, those items of agenda which need to be achieved, have to be achieved sooner rather than later. Otherwise, we know, and we know very well, that time is running fast and we are racing against time. Look at what is happening in India. Look at what is happening in India. Their annual growth is around average 9%. And here in Pakistan, it is paltry 2.5%. It doesn't even cover or barely cover our population growth. Where is the margin left for our progress, for our happiness, or for our empowerment? So therefore, the point at issue is that when we spend 7 lakh rupees on a doctor in our public medical schools, be it female or a male, that is an investment out of which the nation expects that they will become helping hands and messiahs of our suffering humanity. When we spend 5 lakh rupees on a student in engineering university, we then expect that they will construct this nation through infrastructure, beautiful buildings. And when we invest on our science students, we expect that our R&D will grow faster and we will match and pick up pace with our neighboring countries. A country which is known today as Bangladesh, severed from Pakistan in 1971 through brute force of those military dictators who had no love lost for Pakistan, but their own power was more important and more dear to them. So they let Pakistan go, Qaid Pakistan, which was built through a struggle which is unparalleled in the history of Pakistan. And today Bangladesh in many ways is ahead of us. Can you beat it? A country which was flood-stricken, a country which was impoverished. Today Bangladesh's textile industry is exporting at least 2/3 of Pakistan's total exports. And what a shame. I think these are the questions which I have come loaded with to toss up in this open air theatre, and let us come out with answers, because time and tide wait for none. My dear students, of course, when you will graduate, some of you would want to go to foreign universities for higher education. That's your right. And mercifully, Allah guided us 3.5 years ago when we brought into being Pakistan's first education endowment fund, Punjab Education Endowment Fund, which has today 10 billion rupees. 30,000 scholars are being funded by this fund, and left to me, this should have gone to 3 lakh students or 4 lakh students. But when was the last time such an initiative was even thought about, let alone initiated in the last 64 years history? Now here is a very vital question, that this, a very prestigious institution, Connect University, and I have spoken about it, I can speak more about it, its efficacy, its contribution, its services, spanning over the last 100 years. But tell me, putting your hand on your heart, my dear students, teachers and alumni, that where is the fortune of those teeming millions whose parents are as great Pakistanis as any other Pakistani, as hard-working Pakistani as any other Pakistani, as committed human being as any other human being, yet he is unable to make a meal a day, let alone education or his basic needs of life. So when we talk of this wonderful institution, and I wish we could multiply its capacity and its strength, when we talk of Edgerton College, when we talk of Bacon House, when we talk of Lums and Nust, what about those millions and millions of boys and girls in the hinterland of Pakistan, in the desert of Punjab, southern Punjab, mountainous areas of northern Punjab, plains of Punjab, who have nothing in their hands to be busy about except to roam around in the dusty streets of their villages and the towns and their kasbahs? That is the talent. Unless that is harnessed and tapped, Pakistan will never move forward. But the question at issue is, and it's a very pertinent question, that this great institution came to being, Edgerton College came to being, Government College Lahore, my alma mater came into being. Why didn't we bother about those teeming millions over the last 64 years? Whose responsibility was this? That is the point at issue. A thorny issue, a thorny question. And that needs to be answered fair and square. And I think here lies the answer. Bad as it is, sad as it is, unfortunate as it is, and this has led to our collective misfortunes today. That nobody bothered about them till this point in time, as I speak, and they were left on their own, facing muddy waves of life as if everything is milk and honey, and Pakistan is housed in the 4 walls of Lahore, in Karachi, in Peshawar, and Quetta. And that too, within these 4 walls, selective segments of society, and the rest was left to on their own. That is not the way how nations have been built. Their students spoke about Germany. Now Germany, as all of you know, faced humiliating defeat in the Second World War. It was razed to ground and became a non-entity. And imagine, within 50 years it bounced back, and bounced with a noise that the whole world heard about it. And then there came the time that East Germany fell in the lap of West Germany like a ripe fruit from a tree, low-hanging fruit from a tree. Not a bullet was fired, and yet Soviet Russia and Maggie Thatcher, I will talk about her in a minute, could not stop reunification of Germany because people from both the sides wanted reunification. And East Germany, which was impoverished poor brother of rich West Germany, saw the fruits of hard work, honesty of purpose, and untiring efforts. Despite humiliating defeat, which they converted into untiring efforts in 50 years, not only Germany became an economic power of the world, it doesn't have nuclear assets. It doesn't have nukes, yet the entire world respects Germany because it has earned its place in the community of nations through hard work and untiring efforts. That is the way forward. Look at Japan, another shining example. And Pakistan, blessed with all these resources, Pakistan having all these opportunities, yet we are known to be a land of missed opportunities. But I think it's never too late, and it's time. It's time that we should stand up and accept the challenge. And I'm here to tell you very frankly that yes, there are problems, there are traffic problems, true, drug traffic problems. There are problems of perks and privileges. There are problems from power outages to pilferages of our national resources. There are problems in policing system and deteriorating law and order situation. If I do not openly and candidly come out with these issues, we will not be able to find solutions to the problems. We all know problems. We keep on reminding them, talking about them, but now is the time to find solutions. And I'm here to tell you that you are the future of Pakistan. Our female population, which is in majority, we have to empower them in true sense of the word that we can really find our lost place. And I'm here to tell you you are, of course, very valuable segment of our society in majority. But unless once you graduate, unless you go and become a banker, become an actuarist, become a politician, and this DARE students spoke about in their performance about women becoming politicians. There are politicians sitting here, female politicians, but they are from special seats, except, Saira Tarar is the only exception in this hall who has come from general seat fighting men and got elected as member of National Assembly. But this is an exception. It must become norm in every walk of life. And I think this is where we have been slipping over the last 64 years, and time has come to take control of the situation and let this rot be stemmed out and change the course of history. I think that would mean providing opportunities to you. That would mean providing respect to you. That would mean, washing out, wiping out the stigma of discrimination from the society. That would mean changing the rules of the game, tilting in favor of the majority and not in favor of minority. That is why we lost East Pakistan. It was in majority, and the minority of West Pakistan wanted to control majority. It has never happened. It will never happen. And we have to understand this sooner rather than later. Therefore, this great institution, which had 64 years ago, done a remarkable job. I think graduates at that point in time, students at that point in time, rallied around Quaid-e-Azam and struggled for the independence of Pakistan. Today, time has come, and I have come here to tell you that you have to rally around again on a national agenda. You have to really stand up and accept the challenge. And Quaid-e-Azam said at that point in time that through our struggle and standing on our own resources, God willing, we will achieve our goal. We did achieve our goal, but we never fulfilled our dreams. His dream, Allama Iqbal's dream, that remains unfulfilled because Pakistan today cannot be named as Quaid's Pakistan. His soul in his grave must be taking turns because he had not struggled. Those millions of people in their graves must be very, very uncomfortable in their graves because this is not the Pakistan they had laid their lives for, they had sacrificed. Just imagine, a few days ago, 25 Jawans and officers of Pakistan Armed Forces were brutally killed for no fault of theirs, for no rhyme or reason, just because we are beggars, just because a few crumbs of doles and handouts are thrown at us, and in return, those foreign masters, I think words won't be enough. We'll have to toil and toil. We'll have to put in our sweat and blood, and only then we can change the course of history. Otherwise, we'll remain beggars and we'll never become choosers. Allah be with all of you. Pakistan is there to stay. It's up to us how to make it stand, like a beggar or like a chooser. It is not Noori or Nari. It's all up to us. Pakistan Zindabad.